All right, so once again, I'm live. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
You said what?
What's good with you? What you up to?
Watching it all fall down. As they say.
Man, right?
Yep, watching it all fall down, bro. The script is being revealed.
Pretty, man.
So I'm gonna play this video. A lot of psyops.
Oh man, oh hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
One of the big psyops that went on.
Hell yeah, it's been a lot, man.
Since they've been talking about him. Mighty funny they got all this stuff going on, you know. I think I might get to one of these big time shooting. They say 87 people in Chicago were shot or something like that. Damn. Y'all, how y'all kept my man? I need to see the bullet holes, man, for evidence, man. I need to see the bullet holes, brother. I ain't seen no evidence, man. But yeah, what it is, Frank. What you think, man? Huh? Yeah, where you been, man?
Oh yeah, my bad. I had to go get some kitchen real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, man. About the psyops or what?
Oh, yes,
psyops Sunday or what?
I mean, they said 78 people in Chicago got killed or something.
Yeah, I'm going to do a story on that. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. You believe that? I don't believe it. Oh.
Kind of crazy. Let me play this video.
Let me ask this question real quick. Why are these always going down on holidays?
It's control.
Exactly.
All right, let me play this since they talking about it.
Meant to discuss President Joe Biden's candidacy after several House members have called on him to step aside. The president said he's not backing down on the presidential race. CBS News has learned several senior House Democrats said they think the president should exit the race. That's in addition to the 5 House Democrats who have put out public statements. As for
I love you, Joe Biden. I worked hard on your campaign, but I think it's time for you to step down.
I think for him to leave the race at this time, so close to the convention, the Democratic convention, it would be very confusing for a lot of people.
Before today's call with Democrats, Congresswoman Angie Craig of Minnesota spoke out on Biden. Craig says she does not believe the president can effectively campaign and win against Donald Trump. Max Darrow talked with a political science professor from San Jose State University about what to expect from Democrats in the next few days.
The election is now 120 days away. And even though President Biden maintains that he will stay in the race, a political science professor at Democrats will have another candidate. President Biden was back on the campaign trail on Sunday, greeted by lawmakers in the swing state of Pennsylvania. He then went on to speak at a church in Philadelphia.
The world is looking to America, not to carry their burden, but to lead their hopes.
But as the president continues to from for you grow, enough agreeing to step aside.
Given what we've seen in that debate with Trump, and since then, it's looking more and more likely to me that we may have a change at the top of the Democratic ticket.
But plenty of Democrats still publicly stand by the president, such as California Governor Gavin.
Oh shit! Was that my? Is that my computer doing that or yours? Chak, what up? Yo.
Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, that's on Bernard's side. Because I'm on my laptop, just doing it on my laptop. So that's on your side, Bernard.
Oh shit.
I got you, man. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. All right. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shaq. Yeah, you doing
Yep,
that?
yep, yep.
Cool. All right, let's pull this up. No, this motherfucker. You.
What up?
I don't know, man. That shit was kind of weird, man. That shit just froze up, man. I'm sipping on some water, baby. That's some bullshit, man. I don't understand how that shit went down. That was some weird shit. That junk just froze like in time, bro. I didn't pull this up, man. So ain't talking about crazy stuff. Mental breakdown, you'll read.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. Because saying you better get out there and do something, because we don't think that we're going to be able to replace Biden. Trump is going to wash this guy if he does run up against Biden, if he does run up against Trump. And you need to get out there and do something, Joy. Your job is on the line. Convince these folks to get out here and vote for Biden, despite the fact that he's clearly losing his marbles as well, given his age, right? And with that, what we're getting ready to watch is what looks like to me as a mental breakdown over the stress of her needing to convince us of why we need to vote for Biden versus Trump. So let's check this video out, man. We're gonna go through this going crazy, and it just also goes to show as well. Before I get into it, all the Democrats have left is fear. On. They have no policies to sell you on. It's just fear. Nothing more, nothing less. Look at how crazy this woman is coming off. Let's get into it.
Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House.
She's referring to Donald Trump as Hitler. She's referring to him as Hitler. When it comes to fear mongering, it doesn't get any higher than that. It's one thing for Maxine Waters, as I always like to joke and talk about, it's one thing for Maxine Waters to sit up here and lie on MSNBC as she did, stating that Donald Trump has extremist training in the hills to descend down upon community of color, to pew pew people like me and you if he loses. That's one thing to say that. That's crazy because it's not true, number one. Number two and number three, it's just not true. You're lying. But to call someone Hitler, that's just a whole nother level of fear mongering.
Back in 2022, I lost two very important people in my life. Big figures. It really wasn't until February of this year that I finally gave.
Because you really, as far as just world history is concerned, or modern world history, you can say, you don't get more demonic than Hitler. You can't really be more demonic than him. Right. So to refer to somebody as Hitler when they're nowhere close to being that on any level is just sick, especially for someone who's supposed to be a journalist. This is not a YouTuber. This is not like, just somebody who's broke and dusty like me. I'm broke and dusty. Don't let this little, what I got going on back here fool you. It looks nice. You know what I'm saying? But if I zoom the camera out, you'll see how dusty I am. No. She's supposed to be educated. I'm not educated either. I just got a high school diploma. This is supposed to be some sort of educated woman who's a journalist, all that good stuff. She works for MSNBC. She goes into this professional studio every day. Lights, camera, action. They do to be amazing, intelligent, all that. And she's presenting herself as none of that. She's presenting herself as a deranged fool, referring to Donald Trump as Hitler.
Y'all do your thing, play in traffic all you want in front of these Republicans, acting a fool in front of these people instead of privately declaring your stuff. But don't text me no more because I'm not taking no more of these texts.
You see? But don't text me no more because I'm not taking no more of these. Don't text me no more. I'm telling you. Listen. If Trump, this is my prediction. If Donald Trump wins, which he should win, it's the idea that Biden beats Trump is just crazy. But if Donald Trump wins, my prediction is Joy Reid will be out of a job within a year. She'll be out of a job. I believe that she knows that her job is on the line. The DNC leadership team, they are on her bumper. You better get out there and do something. Stop texting me. Why would they be texting her? Think about that. Why are they texting her? MSNBC is clearly a DNC network. We all know this. But as far as the facade, they're supposed to be objective. They're clearly not. You're just supposed to be an objective journalist, though. But we all know that she isn't, right? And it isn't any more clear that she isn't than the fact that she keeps saying the DNC keeps texting her. What are they texting her? They're texting her to get out there and work whatever your magic is to get these people to vote for Biden because we got nothing else. And here she is, completely deranged because of the fact that she knows her job is on the line. I believe that. Personally, I believe that. I could be wrong, but I believe that her job is on the line at this point. And she does not want to lose her position. So now here she is looking a complete fool. This woman looks crazy.
Just let me know when you guys are finished figuring it out, Democrats, because I know y'all the freak out people. Go ahead and freak out. have your conversation, and then let me know who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. That's it. I'm done. Oh, and by the way, if it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policies, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right?
Stop it. I hate when they get up.
Are you serious? Why would you even vote for? See,
that woman just told you she'll vote for Biden in a coma, right?
But see, they're just showing. She's showing you that you should just vote for anybody because of the name. Man. She's showing that you should vote because of the name or because of the popularity of somebody. No, I don't even like his policy. Then why the fuck would you vote for him then? She gets paid. I know she gets paid. Just like Jesse Lee Peterson, they all get paid to do what they do. I mean, honestly, you got to look at these people as the enemy. You got to look at them as the puppets. You got to look at them as the gatekeepers. Oh, yeah.
Well, I gotta find this thing because I gotta show you this, man. This was some weird stuff, man, that went on in a church, man, the other day. Matter of fact, I gotta find it though, because it was very interesting what happened.
They show you every day. They not like us, bro.
You said they tell us something.
They not like us.
Yep.
Dawson, what up? You should bring Dawson up, BJ. You should write Dawson on.
Come on, she come on. I can send the link in the chat though. She can come on. I send the link in the chat.
What does it sound like to you, BJ? What you think, man? That's fear mongering, low key, like.
Consider this your sign to stock up on signage. Because right now at Vistaprint, all signs are 20% off. So you can.
When I marched in the civil rights movement.
He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the civil rights movement.
I got involved in the civil rights movement. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters. They organized voter registration drives from the time I was a kid involved in the civil rights movement, segregated restaurants. I got involved in the civil rights movement. From the time I've been 18 years old, I've been involved in causes from the civil rights movement. I got involved in the civil rights movement. Get ready to go out and desegregate restaurants and movie theaters. Just what got me
For the record, just because you did don't mean you actually did it, bro.
In my case, the civil rights movement.
Quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement. And more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood and kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
All right, guys, we got to talk about a pretty wild video that is going viral of Joe Biden seemingly rejecting a young black girl who is a Biden super fan. Okay, there's not a lot of those out there. Okay, so you would think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they would really appreciate their fans. Okay, and the people that are showing up to these rallies, because at this point they're some of the only supporters of this terrible administration in this country. Okay, and again, this young black girl, again, who's a super fan of Biden and Kamala, she's at this campaign rally, and she is going to be ignored by Joe Biden while he gives hugs to everybody else except her. Now, the reason why I'm covering this story is not because I'm accusing Joe Biden of anything, okay? I personally don't think that there's much to this, okay? But what I do know is that if Trump was to do this, the mainstream liberal media and the pro-black woke revolutionaries would be losing their minds, okay? They would be losing their minds. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, so this is Joe Biden greeting everybody here, taking selfies. Now, I'm not playing the sound because of copyright stuff, because there's music in the background. But look at this young black girl greet Biden. Biden just ignore her. Look at her face, bro.
Yeah.
This is the face of devastation, okay?
Yo.
She is crushed right now, bro. Crushed.
Yo.
Wow. Again, I thought this was impossible. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's the worst thing that can happen in the world because
I just want to show you that young girl. Hey man. I mean, hey, she thought she was getting a hug and love, and it didn't go that way, brother.
How come you don't think none of it, but he reports on it?
Else?
What's the point of him report on it if he doesn't think anything of it?
Bro, it's not a big. To me, I just looked at it like it's par for the course, and I looked at it like he showed you in civil rights video when he lied. So, but the media didn't report on it either. Oh, you want to play it again? Why not play it again, Doc? Oh yeah, let me go back to it. Yeah, let's go ahead back to it.
When I marched in the civil rights movement,
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they would really appreciate their fans, okay? And the people that the reason why I'm covering this story, liberal media and the pro-black Joe Biden greeting everybody here, taking selfies. Now, I'm not playing the sound because of copyright stuff, because there's music in the background. But look at this young black girl greet Biden. Biden just ignore her. Look at her face, bro. This is the face of devastation, okay? She is crushed right now, bruh. Crushed. Wow. Because, again, this is all that bad that U.S. history. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want one, right? I would probably reject an opportunity to get a selfie with Joe Biden, right? To be honest with you. It's not a good look to be seen with this guy at this point, okay? He's toxic, right? Even the Democrat Party is trying to distance themselves from Joe Biden at this point. So, I mean, hey, I understand the devastation, though. I get it.
Well, dang. She was, hey, look, man, she was, I don't know. Felt like she got rejected, man, you know? Rejection.
Well, why would you want to sell? What's wrong with us, with our people, man? Why
hey, man, you just want to be there, man.
Wow.
Now I'm going to play one more video. Okay. I want to hear what
well, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are on pace to do that exact same thing. Right now, they combined manage 22.
Amid the ongoing fallout from Joe Biden's concerning debate performance, talk in many top Democratic circles has already moved to who Kamala Harris would choose as a running mate. That's how certain a widening group of leading party officials, operatives, and donors are that the president's slow start to salvage his campaign just isn't working. Harris's office updating her schedule yesterday to have her appear with the president for the 4th of July.
And we give thanks to our commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, the extraordinary president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Oh, wait a minute. Happy Independence Day.
Whoa. All right, guys, so we got to continue our coverage of the destruction of the Democrat Party, okay? Because that party is collapsing before
Ho, ho, ho. Hey, man, must be Christmas time, man.
What's wrong with that dude, man?
Yo, did you catch that?
Frank, what's going on? Frank, what's going on, man?
Oh.
No.
Now, that ain't what's going on in the video, though. That was just a little clip. I'm going to play what this pastor said about Kamala Harris, and we're going to talk about this. Just let this pastor what this pastor going to say. This pastor said some wild shit.
Our very eyes, and I am very is cognizant of what it means for the House lips are acknowledged started to
if Joe Biden gets
put black people back in change.
It's about the fact that they also know that if Joe Biden gets reelected in November, at his age and stage, he probably won't stay in the presidency for another 4 years. And if he doesn't, guess who emerges back to the seat of the presidency? Another African American, and this time it's a sister who went to Howard University, who's an AKA. Y'all may as well shout back at me and hit here.
I don't care about none of that stupid ass shit.
I need about 50 people to stand on your feet to say that's intelligence. You gotta read between the lines.
An AKA.
That's the greatest fear right here.
The AKA is spy.
We can reclaim DEI. we can reclaim critical race theory and put our content back in textbooks to teach the truth about a racist history in America. If this happens, we can reclaim the Supreme Court, because right now they control the Supreme Court, and they will put 2 more judges on it to make sure we go back to the plantation. I want to ask, who here wants to go back to the plantation? Tell somebody it's not
That's
time
just
to go
like
back.
stuff, right?
What would you say?
These Europeans, they want to keep
Yeah, so
you.
you seen that.
They want to keep you mentally
Figured that, yo,
enslaved, bro.
this
They want to
disgrace
keep you on the plantation,
pastor
bro.
here is a situation.
Keep you guessing, hoping, wanting instead of getting something done. Tangible. So they benefit and profit from that.
Oh,
They,
Dawson, you know
you know what I
him.
mean?
You know him, Dawson. Oh, Dawson says she know this guy. He from Houston over the NWP. Well, anyway, he in church. He talking about Project 2025. With Project 2025, ain't nothing but recommendations from John Brooks' side and stuff, that Federalist side, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't
That's all Project 2025 is. But really, they had this meeting in church, man. So that go to show you how nonsense this bull crap is, right? All right. I gotta come to something else later, but I just wanted to point out to y'all.
What happened to the separation between church and state?
Excuse me.
It ain't one.
I know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
These people are the enemy, man. Those
Yeah,
are
well, he let you know. He said they need to reclaim DEI. What you need to reclaim DEI for? Oh shit! Hey Frank, my bad, man. I told you, ain't it? I told you, now the numbers have jumped to 98 people shot in Chicago, Frank.
Oh my! How did it go up? How did shit go up?
Now wait a minute, Frank. 2 boys. Now check this out. 2 boys, 12 and 13, shot inside McDonald's in New York City. Let's go with these shooting for a little bit, man. Come on, let's go with these shooting for a little bit. Sit down. Oh, okay, Dawson, you know him very well. Well, I'm glad you know him. Tell me more information about him, because I'm about to look this fool up. I ain't know who the damn clown was. But whatever. He trying to, do his job, I guess. He said Kamala Harris gonna save you from going back in slavery. So go ahead, figure it out.
We got shot by the emergency room.
A security alert was issued by the University of Chicago this morning after 3 men were shot on a sidewalk in front of the adult hospital's emergency room right after 5 a.m. According to UCPD, witnesses reported that the gunshots were fired away from the medical center. It is not clear whether any of the victims are affiliated with the university in any way. The shooting is one of several that happened overnight. In the South Loop, police are investigating the murder of a 26-year-old man who was shot and killed while walking down East 21st Street near Michigan Avenue just after 11 p.m. A 25-year-old woman was also injured but is expected to recover. Union officials confirmed the man was a CTA bus driver.
I was walking my dog at the dog park across from the Marriott by 320 East 21st over there, and I heard at least 15 clear gunshots.
Bullet casings were scattered up and down the streets. The gunshots shattered the front door of a condo building, and it was a terrifyingly close call for 2 women who were sitting in this parked vehicle about to pull away when they saw 2 men running up from behind.
She was on the dog at 11 o'clock at
was
night.
wearing a brown sweater and a ski mask. And when I seen them pull out the gun, I just pulled my window up and we dug basically. And I just seen them shooting.
It has been an extremely violent holiday weekend with the number of people injured and or killed by gunfire already far exceeding last year's tally. Since Thursday, there have been 3 mass shootings in the city of Chicago, which on their own left 16 people injured and 4 dead. According to the mayor's office, all CPD officers had their days off canceled this
47
weekend
in
in order
reverse.
to help deal with the police response. They also said
You didn't get
that
that,
on
huh, VJ?
Tuesday they will open the emergency
47?
assistance center to help anyone who was impacted
And these
by
numbers
this
keep
weekend.
popping up. That's crazy.
You saw it, right?
47, bro.
Gee, I did.
Hey. Yep.
And then 3?
No.
Like,
G3
what's up
means
with the
debt-free
3? That's,
education. When you trade.
We begin this hour with 2 boys shot
This is New York
I've
right here.
seen this, dude. I was
inside a
thinking, like,
McDonald's. It happened overnight in the Allerton section of
12 and 13? 13?
Bronx. And Weekend Today, New York's Miles Miller's there live.
Yeah, that's right. 2 children shot overnight here
So that's
at
3 and 13,
this
isn't it?
McDonald's on White Plains Road. You can see behind me that there is a crime scene unit in here. They've been doing measurements for much of the morning here as they try to piece together what happened. Police telling us 10 o'clock, right before 10 o'clock Saturday, a 12-year-old boy was shot in the left thigh and back, and a 13-year-old boy was shot in the left leg. Both of those kids rushed to Jacoby Hospital and are expected to survive. But get this, police sources telling News 4 this morning that both of those children were the intended target of those gunshots. Now, the police are searching for a suspect this morning, and the circumstances surrounding what happened here are unknown. But again, an active investigation this morning inside this McDonald's here.
But how do they know that they was actually the target if they don't have the evidence?
In a neighborhood that is
How do
dealing
they know
with
that?
a surge of violence, shootings down, but other violent acts, including felony assault.
You know what, man? That don't make a lot of sense, man, when you really think about it. Because that don't make a lot of sense to me. That don't make a lot of sense to me because you're saying the kid's the target, right? But if they the target,
right?
Well, what? You the target, but McDonald's I know got cameras in there, so you ain't got no suspect. They just got away scot free. Nothing right.
Come on, man.
Why
would somebody shoot at some kids?
I ain't see no tape and then I ain't see the area block.
And did they? How come they didn't mention if there was kids? The suspects were kids or adults.
See, it's the way they report these situations, man. You have them so mercury, man. You know what I'm saying? It's muddy up the situation because how you gonna say there was a target? The 2 was the targets, and then you turn around and say, well, the investigators they investigating, they don't have any information. What? So how can you put out that they are the targets then with no information, bro? The investigation ain't even, you know what I mean?
That ain't make no sense. Man, that shit's crazy, man.
This is the way they be reporting some of this stuff, man. I ain't saying these situations don't happen. This is the way they report them, though. I don't know, man.
I mean, how does that make any sense to anybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even? I don't know, man. Like you just said, why would you report that like that?
Right. Did they get shot with a real gun, or did they get shot with a target? I mean, what's good?
What was the motive?
Why they tell us that the caliber of the other? What's the motive? What's the caliber of the firearm?
Why did they tell us the type of gun, man? That's a good question. That's a good ass question, man. That's a good question right there. You notice in a lot of these stories, they're not telling you. They'll just say, "Oh, a pistol and a fucking," just like the other day. Oh, it was a pistol and a firearm. Why is it? I mean, a rifle. Why is it always those 2 guns? It's never AK-47. It's never a fucking shotgun. You know what I mean? No, it's the same. That's the AR and pistol shit. Let's get rid of both of those guns.
Well, look, Shaq. We're gonna comment on this topic a little bit because me and Shaq, you know, we always talk in the morning about health and we talk about 5G and so many things. Actually, almost everything, from the rooter to the tutor, as they say. All right, Shaq. So I pulled this up. Radiation is one of the worst ways to die. Would you agree with that statement?
Of course.
All right. Well, let's go ahead with it then.
Almost 2 a.m. on the 26th of April, 1986. 25-year-old firefighter Vasily Ignatenko is part of the first response team tasked with putting out a fire at the Chernobyl nuclear power station. Chunks of highly radioactive graphite lie around the site. The men pick up bits and kick them around. Ignatenko and others on that team are just hours away from falling gravely ill. One of the firemen jokes, "There must be an incredible amount of radiation here." We'll be lucky if we're all still alive in the morning. Days later, and Ignatenko's pregnant wife has to bribe hospital staff so she can see her dying husband. He's just too radioactive to be close to. His skin is almost white, translucent. He's unrecognizable. He's been eaten from the inside. Months later, after he's passed, his daughter is born. Her heart is malformed. She has cirrhosis of the liver. She dies just hours after childbirth. What you just heard is an abridged version of one of the worst ways to die. One of the most painful,
If you own a gun, then just buying concealed carry insurance isn't enough to be prepared.
brutal ways to leave this blue planet of ours. You could call Ignatenko's downfall extreme. He was a first responder to the worst nuclear plant disaster the world has ever seen. But death by radiation comes in many forms. Its horror manifests itself in myriad ways. It can be fast. Well, a few days won't seem to pass so fast when your body is eating itself. But it can also be slow. Very, very slow. Let's stay with the story of Ignatenko for now. When he and the other firemen turned up at the power plant on that fateful early morning, they didn't know what was really going on. It's true that one of the firemen joked about there being a possibility that they were exposed to high levels of radiation, but it was just that, a joke. It soon became a reality, though. 27 firefighters died from what's called acute radiation sickness, aka ARS. In simple terms, that's the sickness you get when you're exposed to massive amounts of radiation. The number of actual radiation-related deaths was more than 4,000, but many of those deaths were of the slow kind. There were other deaths too, such as the fireman that died from external and internal radiation burns, as well as, get this, a blistered heart. Let's hope you never have to hear those two words together for the rest of your life. Let's now talk you through ARS. There are usually 4 stages, starting with what the medical profession calls the prodromal stage. This happens soon after the exposure, and it involves a lot of throwing up and leaking from the rear end. In the case of Ignatenko, he was excreting bloody, loose stools around 25 times a day. If that wasn't bad enough, at times he threw up bits of his internal organs. We told you this was bad, and it gets worse. His wife, Lyudmila, watched on as her husband slowly fell apart. She actually risked her own life being near him because the father of that fetus in her womb was radioactive himself. She watched helplessly as staff struggled to put slippers on his swollen feet, another of the symptoms. She witnessed staff not being able to clothe him in a hospital gown. His body, she said, had transformed. He was taking on different shapes. In her own words, she said, every day I met a brand new person. The burns started to come to the surface. The lesions on his body spread, making his skin look like a glossy white film. This came as a surprise to her because at one point he seemed to get better. It was as if the sickness was abating. It wasn't. What was happening is that he was experiencing stage 2 of ARS, the latent stage. This can last hours or weeks. Some people can recover after ARS, but those that don't are going to experience literal hell on earth. The radiation will destroy the bone marrow in the body, which can lead to deadly infections and hemorrhage. The GI tract can be destroyed, as can the cardiovascular and central nervous system. You don't have much chance of survival after that. It all depends on how much radiation a person is exposed to. Some folks might be kept alive with the help of medical staff. Antibiotics can fight infections. Blood transfusions can supply much needed white blood cells. But the fact is, even if the person gets through the month, there can be many. Let's now talk about the skin. If a person's poisoned by radiation, what often happens at first is their skin will become reddened and may feel itchy. This can lead to blisters, which means poor Ignatenko, he suffered from something called desquamation, which basically means his skin started to peel off. The blood and this is why his wife said he barely looked human at that point. We should say that hair after radiation exposure. Listen to this. It's what one guy said about a friend of his who was at the disaster site. My neighbor, he was also there. He worked a crane. His clothes. What the hell? You see, we've only explained to you some of the horrors that happened to the people who died just days or weeks after exposure. There were many others who would succumb in months or years. On the night of the disaster, he held a heavy reactor hall door open so men could get through. The 3 guys that went in died within 2 weeks. He survived, but that part of his body that held the door was exposed to massive amounts of radiation. About an hour later, he was vomiting. He had a searing pain in his throat. More time passed and he couldn't stand up. The hospital, the staff measured the amount of radiation in his body, and he was given a 50-50 chance of surviving. He was sent to Moscow with other men who'd been exposed. 5 of likely. Somchenko would later say was in a matter of days, or not just on his head, on his entire body. He said most men suffered from skin rashes. Huge, ugly rashes that burned. Some were given bone marrow transplants, and all the men received multiple blood transfusions. He experienced that latent stage when the sickness seemed to calm down, but it came back with a vengeance. One day, he sheets up and piles back dead skin. The part of his body that had held the door had become horribly swollen. The skin died around his shoulder and arm, and it was just plain luck that he managed to keep it. Years later, it would almost be half the size of his good arm. For many years, the affected body parts were operations, which of his life having operated. He actually felt one of the fortunate ones because he witnessed his friends losing their eyesight or succumbing after bone marrow transplants. You see, the radiation destroys bone marrow cells, and when they go, the victim doesn't have the white blood cells that fight infections. They're vulnerable, sitting ducks. For those who survived, like Yevchenko, their lives were forever changed. They were likely infertile, but they were malformed or would develop leukemia. Or still, the survivors became pariahs. People looked at them like they were the living dead, dangerous carriers of radiation. And so people would cross the street when they saw them coming. Then there were the ones that died of radiation-related. Maybe as many as 270,000 people in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus developed cancers because of the disaster. It's estimated that around 93,000 of them died. A lot of them just children. Many women were exposed to high levels of radiation, but because they never suffered the more extreme symptoms of radiation poisoning, they didn't think too much. Then they had kids that many people drank milk from cows that grazed on contaminated land. Some of those kids developed from very strange and macabre-sounding birth defects. Embryo and fetus are very, very sensitive to radiation. So while mom, it doesn't her newborn, some parents had been to high while were born with a club foot or a cleft palate or lip. Some had an extra finger or an extra toe, while others had digits on the hand that were fused together. Believe it or not, in 1993, there were reports of a two-headed baby being born in the former Soviet Republic of Moldova. She had not only 2 heads, but also had 2 hearts, 2 sets of lungs on the Chernobyl disaster, but death from radiation has taken out a lot of people. Some of well-known figures. Marie, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist who decided to walk around with them in her pocket. This would lead her. She became almost blind, severe and ignorant, wealthy Americans. He told the Republic, gradually lose his teeth. When he died, there were holes in his skull. A similar thing is by breathing slowly. 2006, his cup of tea was dosed with polonium-210. Within weeks, he was a dead man. Some believe that this kind of hit was a big statement and a warning to anyone that dared defy the almighty Putin. The poison wasn't designed to kill Litvinenko quickly, but to make him suffer if possible. Now you need to watch the Cell, Russia's horrific poison laboratory. Almost 2 in the morning.
All right, Shaq, what do you think about that, man?
I think with the information, man, I think people need to, I think we, watch that video. I think people need to think we need to reevaluate things now. You know, huh? So symptoms, them symptoms seem like they.
Yeah, you're right.
Them symptoms mirror a lot of other things that you could be experiencing radiation poisoning, but you thinking you got diabetes, thinking you got this, you think you got that. Then you get checked up, MRIs and all that stuff. And say, well, we can't find anything. Well, I think now we should be adding, hey, you need to check my radiation level, see how much radiation is in my body, bro. I think we need to add that to it. Huh? What I think?
Yeah. Might need to add it to the list.
You know? Might need to add to the list when you go get your checkup with your age or whatever need to be recommended. Hey, but you check and see, send me a good check up and see, check the radiation level in my body.
You're right. I gotta find that video Marcus sent me, man. Let me find this daggone thing.
What one is it?
Let me find it. Yeah, but it showed me about the radiation, man. A lot of people don't even know about this radiation because it's not being taught. Or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
one or the other.
You could be experiencing that. But they just don't know, bro. I mean, people don't know. That's because they got you with the news and they telling you about. They're not talking about it. Possibility of radiation poisoning with like I said, especially with the so-called advancement of technology, man. You know, smart TV, smartphone, cable, Wi-Fi. You know, and then your car now. I mean, everything is all in your vehicles and stuff. So you really can't escape it at this point. So people, you got to imagine it for being exposed to it unknowingly.
You got a point.
Excuse me, y'all. That's true. Hey, that's true. Hey, you know what? I don't know if it's like that where we're at, but out here they have like certain signs like inside or outside buildings and stuff. They're saying like certain chemicals, you know what I'm saying, in the area, whatever, are liable to cause cancer. Do y'all be seeing that out there where y'all at? Hello?
About the cancer?
Yeah, man, that's like
yeah.
People already know. They already have it, you know what I'm saying? That comes from, you know what I'm saying, the products and stuff they use, chemical, you know what I mean? Just like asbestos for houses. Right. That shit is hazardous. Asbestos. A lot of people been dying from that shit. Like a lot of painters and you know what I'm saying? People, contractors, and you know what I'm saying? People that do houses and shit, they be dying from that shit. Asbestos. I know you don't know. I know y'all know. That shit ain't no joke.
Yeah, asbestos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It gets so deep, right? Because
what you saying, Chak?
I said no, it gets so deep. I mean, we're exposed to so many chemicals. Even the house products that we use, chemicals that we use to clean the house up. People breathing those chemicals in, man, because we use them. Clorox bleach. Did you know Clorox or bleach, which is used, one of the components used for, I think the atomic bomb.
Oh shit!
Did y'all know that?
Damn, that's Clorox. Clorox.
Yeah.
What is it?
Former Clorox or cream of Clorox, like Clorox bleach. It's one of the components used in like a atomic bomb or one of those bombs that we make.
Wow.
So we've been exposed to a lot of stuff, man, and so I'm bringing that back around to health. So why do you think when you go to these and get diagnosed, you know something going on because your body just telling you something. But you go get a MRA or a blood test and you get X-ray and like, oh, we can't find anything. What? And then later, you turn 40 some years old, 50 some years old. You got prostate cancer or breast cancer or diabetes pop up allegedly. It could have been radiation poison all
Well,
along.
look, check this out. Your boy Marcus sent me this.
Hey, come see us on tour. I'll be in Davenport, Iowa, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Jessica Rojas tweeted this out. She says, has Appeal made it to a grocery store near you? I don't know what Appeal is. Do you know what that is, Misha? I don't know what that is either. But watch this. This is going to be a little mind-blowing. It was a lot mind-blowing for me. Here we go.
Are Costco and Whole Foods selling fake fruits?
What?
I've been hearing about this, but check out what's happening to these people.
When she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break.
You see that?
And when it pulls, it's like it's glue.
Like, it's not even breaking, like, at all. Like, it. And I know you guys can't feel the texture, Avi, right? Because it's a video, but like, it literally feels fake. Those of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like,
there's a clanking, and it sounds like something's stuck. So I go in the drain, and there's a blueberry.
So there was something in her, I guess, food disposal, and it sounded like something went stuck. She goes in the drain, and guess what she pulls out?
Not breaking apart. It's not doing anything. It's what's making the noise. And I pick it up, and why is there a rubber blueberry in my toddler's snack? This came from the carton of blueberries. My husband cut it in half. I really don't know if you can see it that well. Glistening, it's silicone. It's a silicone blueberry. It is a solid rubber blueberry. She is under 2. I got this at Whole Foods also. Organic. I was trying to, do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
I want to play that again.
Are Costco and Whole Foods selling fake fruits? I've been hearing about this, but check out what's happening to these people.
When she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue.
Like, it's not even breaking, like, at all. Like, it. And I know you guys can't feel the texture, Avi, right? Because it's a video, but like, it literally feels fake. Those of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like,
there's a clanking, and it sounds like something's stuck. So I go in the drain, and there's a blueberry that's not breaking apart. It's not doing anything. It's what's making the noise. And I pick it up, and why is there a rubber blueberry in my toddler's snack? This came from the carton of blueberries. My husband cut it in half. I really don't know if you can see it that well. Glistening, it's silicone. It's a silicone blueberry. It is a solid rubber blueberry. She is under 2. Got this at Whole Foods also. Organic. I was trying to, do the right thing.
You're a vegetarian.
Yes. I also buy organic fruits and vegetables. I also shop at Whole Foods occasionally.
So now we know the bad news is that Whole Foods is owned by the Miss Dr. Evil.
Right.
Isn't that ironic?
Totally.
But he if he's going to buy all the bookstores, why not buy the organic grocery stores too?
Right. Which apparently employees, you get a discount if you stay under a certain weight.
No.
Yes, there's something like that, a certain body mass index or something. If you're like
for Whole Foods?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
I will find it and send it to you. But but yeah, I'm appalled. I'm shocked. I've just seen this for the first time. So
I just saw it this morning for the first time. I couldn't believe it.
So who's behind this?
Obviously, those people aren't lying.
No.
Those if they are, they're the best actors in the history of the world.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're totally believable. So that banana was freaky.
And the watermelon, that was weird too. Because was it her whole watermelon?
It looked like she had sliced up a watermelon.
Yeah, but she's only doing that with one piece, so I was confused. Is it her whole watermelon that's rubber or silicone?
You think they could just slip one piece in the middle of a watermelon?
Yeah, they can't do that, right? But also, how did they do one banana?
I don't know.
One
But
banana
well, maybe
on the...
I wonder if it was just one banana, if it was just one slice of watermelon. I wonder if, like, do you think someone's sabotaging as Shatner would say, it's sabotage. You think someone's sabotaging Whole Foods? Like putting fake silicone fruit in, mixing it in. Maybe that was sliced watermelon, and they just put one in, and they put in one fake banana, they put in one blueberry. You think that could possibly be happening?
But then also, didn't that first person say Whole Foods?
He sound like he's Italian. You got some Italian.
Let's see what they said. I think see.
Are Costco and Whole Foods selling fake fruits?
Whole Foods.
I've been hearing.
So why? If you're going to sabotage Whole Foods, Costco seems like they're worker friendly. They give
sabotage.
They have a higher pay than.
So I just pointed out to you that they go to show you what they're doing with these foods and stuff like that. That's what.
Yep. I had some bananas, man. I know, matter of fact, I had some avocados. Had some avocados that never ripe. It was they just ain't hard.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. This is bad, I heard, man.
Hey, look, hey, what y'all think about what's his name? What about the mass shooting in Kentucky? Or there's some more mass shootings, dude. I was about to do a show on this shit. This is ridiculous, man. All these damn mass shootings. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I can't. I don't buy it. You know, all of a sudden this stuff.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying? The 4th of July. Black people don't celebrate 4th of July like that. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So you had a couple on Juneteenth and 4th of July. Yeah, right. So everywhere, you know what I'm saying, we gather, there has to be some violence. I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, there are some ignorant ass motherfuckers, don't get me wrong. You know, I ain't gonna, but still, come on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, they mixing maybe isolated situations and they try to lump them all together.
90 people.
These could just be isolated situations that they.
But 90 people, bro, get shot? I don't know, man. That's like
90 people on one day.
That's what they said. That different. It's like, is that a movie?
You're talking about in one area?
No, I guess it was different areas, but still, it's like, well, how come we didn't hear about this?
But that shit happen every day, right?
No,
they don't work, man. You know, you report on shootings every day, every hour of my existence, bro.
True.
Shootings happen every day, every hour.
Well, how come we didn't hear
why
about
you know what I'm saying?
Or St. Louis? Why we haven't heard it in places that are actually worse than Chicago? Why we didn't hear much about this much shooting there?
The shootings is going on. Look, Frank, I can tell you right now. My boy Shice told me one of the cities we grew up in back in Illinois, a landlord situation with a landlord. The landlord was trying to, I guess, you know, having problems with the tenant. And the tenant, I guess, getting him up out the property, and the tenant shot. One of the tenants shot the landlord's son. Shot and killed the landlord's son. Killed him, and the landlord shot and killed him. So these situations happen. They just don't get reported. Like, you know what I'm saying? Documented, reported on the mainstream. They don't get highlighted.
But the thing is, in places like that are worse than Chicago, why are we not hearing about 70, 80 people shot in Memphis with a worse crime rate than Chicago? Why are we not hearing about 70, 80 people shot in East St. Louis? You know what I'm saying? Why are we not hearing about 80, 70 people shot in Baltimore? I don't know. Why is it just Chicago? You feel me? I don't know. But I know I feel you, but
Political, baby.
It's political. Bro. That's what I'm saying. I think it's just, no. I think motherfuckers really do get. I mean, it's crazy out there. Don't get me wrong. Motherfuckers really do. And you gotta look at it like this too. What's up with the gun laws? So to let you know the gun laws are not working. If these are real shootings, to let you know the gun laws are not working. Why do you have these stiff, harsh ass gun laws in places like that to where you know that shit ain't working? You know what I'm saying? That's just to go after the regular everyday citizens and shit. Just like Chicago. I mean, California. You know, you got, you know, sometimes you get spikes of crimes out here. But damn, that lets you know these gun laws ain't working, right? These motherfuckers in the streets ain't going by no motherfucking gun laws. I just don't get places like this. Why, you know, you might they got to rethink, but they want it. This is how the recidivism rate. They keep people locked up. You see what I'm saying? They keep crime up. They make it to where people want to
segue into this.
Hell up out their state.
You brought up a good point.
What'd you say?
So let's talk about this right quick, Frank, because you brought up a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. I was talking to Chak about this earlier. We had a girl down here in Richmond. She was found dead in an alley in a shopping cart since last month. This could be a reason why. Listen closely.
Disturbing, especially the more research you do, the stories you read, it's even more uncomfortable to talk about. But we have to talk about it because it's happening right in front of us. I'm going to give you some stats here for you to be thinking about. Every 30 seconds, a child is trafficked. 40 million victims, runaways, are trafficked. 99% of victims are women and girls. Human trafficking profits $150 billion industry. 75% of trafficking victims are used for sex. 1 in 4 trafficking victims are children. Sex trafficking, 80% of victims are never rescued. 30% increase in sex trafficking cases since COVID-19. And like I said earlier, this is not a comfortable topic to be discussing. However, if we don't talk about it, because I don't know, it's too uncomfortable, how are we going to be educated? Lack of knowledge leads to fear. Fear leads to danger. Danger leads to destruction. We don't want to get to that point. Our goal is to get educated. We're going to do that in today's episode. If you value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'm telling you in advance, I'm going to read you some stories to disturb you. However, if you can't handle stories like this, don't watch this video. But I'm telling you in advance, these stories are disturbing and true. Ready? You have a choice. I'll give you a second. If you want to get off this video, go. But I'm about to tell you some of these stories. Let's go into the first disturbing story about what's going on here. Liz Williamson's mom trafficked her at just 6 years old. Mom trafficked daughter. Liz was sold to men and recorded for child pornography. She escaped as a young adult thanks to the kindness of a bus driver. A bus driver saved Liz from her own mom. That's one. Let me give you the second one here. This is a story that was done by Fox. Human trafficking victim recounts horrors of life at the mercy of criminals. Carla Jacinto estimates she has been raped more than 40,000 times. How is it impossible to be 40,000 times? She was forced to have sex between 30 to 40 times a day from ages of 12 to 16 years old. She says, it was always apology after a beating, after the massacre on the floor, after making bruises on my body, after seeing me cry and suffer. They gave you a rose saying they love you. They told me that I was born like a nobody and I was going to die like a nobody. That's what her abductors told her. I did not want to be part of this statistic. In the years since escaping a hellish existence at the hands of traffickers, Jacinto's story has been well documented. She has traveled internationally, speaking to world leaders and even Pope Francis. In January, she joined a group of U.S. senators on a trip to the southern border to speak about the horrors she experienced. This is the second story. Let me read you the third one. Barbara Amaya ran away at the age of 12 after being abused by family members. She was taken in on the streets of Washington, D.C. by a couple who seemed nice, but ended up selling her into human trafficking. She was used for months and then sold to a man named Moses, who took her to New York and continued to traffic her for many years. Now Barbara fights for other victims of human trafficking and to change policies that treat victims as criminals. When you listen to these stories, isn't a part of your head where your mind says, there's no way these stories are true? That can't be happening. They're happening all over the place. And this is just 3. I have hundreds others to read you. I don't want to do that to you. I just want to tell you, these are some of the horrific experiences that these casualties had here. Thank God they're around, but imagine the rest of your life. You have to think about reliving these moments forever. How do you overcome something like that? With the help of God is probably the only way, but think about how hard that is. Now, let's kind of break it down on how this business model actually works. Methods used by traffickers. Common tactics. Number one, false promises of employment or education. Traffickers often lure victims that promise of legitimate jobs, modeling contracts, or educational opportunities that turn out to be fraudulent. Number two, romantic relationships. Traffickers form romantic relationships with their victims to gain their trust and manipulate them into sex work. Number three, abduction and kidnapping. In some cases, traffickers abduct individuals outright and force them into sex trafficking. Four, debt bondage. Victims are forced to work to repay an insurmountable debt often incurred through deception or coercion. Five, online recruitment. Traffickers use social media, dating apps, and other online platforms to identify and recruit potential victims. Dating apps. So those are some of the methods. Let me go a little bit deeper on how they control victims. Number one, threats and intimidation. Two, isolation. You don't have anybody to talk to. Three, emotional manipulation, drug addiction. And dehumanization, constantly demeaning and devaluing the victim to break their spirit and sense of self-worth. Now, here's how they target potential victims. Number one, economic hardship. You're going through financial difficulties. Good opportunity here. Number two, runaway and homeless youth. Young people without stable homes are at high risk of being targeted by traffickers. Number three, previous abuse. Those who have experienced prior abuse, neglect, or trauma are more susceptible to exploitation. Number four, online presence. Number five, immigrants and refugees. We've seen a lot of that at the southern border. These are signs of sex trafficking, by the way. Number one, lack of control. Victims may not have control over their own identification documents, money, or personal schedule. Number two, physical indicators. Signs of physical abuse, malnourishment, or poor hygiene can indicate trafficking. Number three, behavioral signs. Victims may exhibit fear, anxiety, and depression or submissive behavior. They might avoid eye contact or seem unable to speak for themselves. Number four, work and living conditions. Victims often live and work in the same place under poor conditions. They may work long hours with little to no pay. Number five, inconsistencies in stories. Victims might provide inconsistent or scripted answers when asked about their situation. We can talk plenty of problems. We got that. I want to give you some solutions here. So check this out. I should ask myself, how come politicians, governors, presidents don't talk about go learn how money works? When's the last time a governor or president tell you for the next 12 months, every American's going to read these next 20 books so we can all get better at money? When's the last time you saw that? When's the last time you saw education in school teaching us about how money works? Save this much money, pay this credit card, you'll be careful with this. When's the last time? Why don't we talk about finances and educate us on money, on how it works? Why don't we talk about reading books? Why don't we do that? And why don't we talk about human trafficking? I don't know if it's a negative reason that they don't do it or a positive reason. All I'm asking is, why don't we talk about those three things? And what should we do? Not talk about it? Watch this. The other part, I see this video with this girl that goes viral, and this girl starts off saying, you know, my body count is 500. I wonder what other people's body count is. And then this girl reacts to it in the most incredible way that can sum up pretty much today's entire episode. Watch this video with me. Look what she says.
So my body count is 500, and it got me thinking, what is the average person's? Like,
I'd be right up there with you, girl, except my dad kept saying this stupid phrase throughout my childhood. It was so redundant. What was it? Oh, I love you.
Pretty simple phrase, right? Did you feel it? Did you feel it? The girl, 500, God knows the relationship with her and her father. The other one is saying, my dad gave me love. I got the love at the house. I got what I needed at the house. I don't need to put myself in bad situations. A few other things I would tell you with this as well is sometimes parents don't want to talk openly about different issues. The other night we're having dinner. We're at this restaurant and it's my oldest son, my youngest son, my daughter, everybody's there. And I said, so let me ask you, what are you going to do? I'm talking to the boys. If your sister dates a guy and you find out she got hit in the face by the guy, what are you going to do? And they start talking about, oh, I would do this. What if this? And what if that? And what if this? Hey, what are you going to do if somebody comes up to you and they try to do X, Y, Z to you? How are you going to have that conversation with them? And it's like, oh, what would you do? What would you do? And they're kind of process. And what would you do if this, and that, right? We're having open conversations with the kids in front of each other, and they're all trying to process issues. How often do we do that? Maybe not enough. Maybe we need to do more of it. So when they actually go into that situation, they're like, wait a minute, that one night at dinner, my mom, you, my dad, you, oh, no, I'm not doing this. I know what this is. I feel the three red, this is a red flag. I'm not doing this. I'm out. I think love, I think education, I think the lack of knowledge leading to fear, leading to danger, leading to destruction. We need to kind of be more knowledgeable about this stuff, and having a conversation with our kids can do a lot. And hopefully we get a couple people in office and other content creators. There are many of them out there, but not many in office. It's painful. It's tough. It needs more attention. One of the best things that gave this a lot of eyeballs the last couple of years was the movie Sound of Freedom. We need way more examples of movies like that, documentaries like that, to expose what's really going on. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, I get asked, Pat, if you were president, what would you do? What are some policies that you would change if somebody was president? If you ever want to run for office, or if you know somebody, here's some of the ideas I would implement if I ever ran for office, which I never will because I wasn't born here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
So what do y'all think about that?
I ain't surprised, man. Not surprised, man.
Ain't no need to be surprised. But they're going to show you. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Let me play this thing. Let me put this thing that so since she sent it to me, what is this sealed? And then I'm gonna play the video with Crimson Q, and then I'll try to get back on the mind as well. But Shaq, man, I gotta tell you something, man. That radiation poison, baby, it's a killer.
No, man, I just got a little bit more time on my hands to be able to sit back and observe a lot of things, Bernard, pay attention to actually what's going around me than some other people. When you talk about the animals and stuff, bears and stuff, there be a reason too. They could be trying to get away from the radiation or whatever danger that they feel and trying to get to a safer place. You see these animals and stuff that's migrating abnormally into the sea areas. Gotta
All right, let me play this video.
All right, folks, let's dive straight into it. The latest 19 in the U.S. reveals that the 50.3 variant continues to hold its ground, accounting for a significant 33.1% of cases. Yeah, you heard that right. This variant is still making waves across the country. Now, you might be wondering, what's the 50.3 variant part of this? Well, this particular variant is known for its meaning it spreads more
You can't really hear it, like it's the music. She trying to.
So, if you haven't already, go get vaccinated and encourage those around you to do the same. Let's work together to keep this safe. Remember, staying informed is key. Keep an eye on the latest updates and continue practicing those preventive measures. We've come a long way.
Oh man. Yo, what's going on with this?
Yeah, music is kind of like.
Yeah, but no, it's music y'all draining,
Yeah,
man.
I got you.
Turn off the video.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Well, it was about the COVID thing. Basically, they got a new variant out. They got a variant called the flirt variant and all that. So
Flirt. Wow.
It's called KP3.
That lets you know that they're the ones that
I'm
are.
a flirt.
That lets you know they're
Hey,
making
all
it
my
by
Crimsonites, and welcome to the
those code
Crimson Cure
names.
channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join.
Yep, they're going to show you, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. All right, let me play this video, man. Gotta play this one. I've been keeping this
To
thing
get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data teach you.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got a video. It's a couple of parts, but it's not that long. A lady that's sort of going out on a rant about Sexy Red's music and things of that nature. And there's going to be some language in it, so please be aware of that. However, I'm just going to let you listen to it. And of course, we're going to get into it as we do. So without further ado, here we go.
I hate that girl. I hate her. I hate her. I wish somebody would make a diss record against her ass. I think I'm about to write a diss. I don't like that bitch. I don't like her at all. Like, she be single-handedly playing in y'all face. And I said to myself, who the fuck her fan base? This is why I hate when y'all listen to her music. Like, y'all keep saying, like, yeah, man, but the beat hit. I don't give a fuck how much motherfucking hit. Let me tell you something. Every time I hear that bitch in my motherfucking car, I turn her shit off because I know she detrimental to the black community. I know she motherfucking influencing young girls to pop they pussy open for a baby. I know that's what that bitch doing. And in the same breath, she's influencing these young girls to be ratchet, nasty, and trifling. And then she's telling y'all that y'all got carpet hair. So not only is she's influencing y'all to do that, but she's also insulting y'all at the same time. I hate that bitch. I promise you. I promise you. I hate the fact that social media make everybody famous. I hate this. That's why every time I see one of my sisters going in on that bitch, I repost, share, like, comment as much as I motherfucking can. As much as I can. If y'all women up here got younger girls, okay, and within their teenage years, please talk to your girls. Please talk to your teenagers about this bitch. Make sure you tell them that this is not the way to go, because that's her fan base. Because everybody that I talk to don't really like her. So I be trying to figure out who is her fan base. It's these younger girls. It's these younger girls with fam. She is going to tear y'all daughter's self-esteem down. Keep fucking letting your daughter listen to this. I'm finna say some crazy shit. Keep letting your daughter listen to this bitch and see what happens. She gonna tear your, I promise. She gonna tear your daughter's self-esteem down piece by piece. Sexy Red is making a mockery out of black girls' hair and saying it looks like carpet and saying that it's unattractive, along with turning your daughter into whores. I hate this bitch with everything in me. She gonna tell your.
Wow.
Everything that this lady said, profanity laced or not, is facts. And then we got these comments. So y'all ain't listen to Trina and Kim as a parent. Why y'all? I'm tired of bring up how bad this new crop of so-called female rappers is. These young folks want to Kim and Foxy. And listen, first of all, at the bare minimum, raunchy or not, Kim and all them, they have bars at least. At least. You could listen to the song. You can name 3 Lil' Kim songs. You can name 3. There was bops. Okay, there was hits. All right? Hits. Whether you liked her style, whether you like the raunchiness of her lyrics, at bare minimum, there was the balance of talent to go along with the raunchy. So it wasn't just nasty for the sake of nasty. It was like, okay, at least, and that's not me defending the raunchiness of that, because even at that time, we knew that music, that type of music from women was not really acceptable. That was not, Kim made a lot of waves with the way in which she presented herself. The cover of her hardcore album was debated for a very long time about what was the direction of female rappers going. Is this the new norm for the female rapper? The balance of the Lauryn Hills. We had the balance of, we always gravitated not only towards the super sexualized female rappers, but we also gravitated towards just the female rappers that just had bars. Right. Shake they butt. I mean, Eve wasn't somewhere twerking all the time with her booty in the air. And we rocked with Eve. Okay? You can name 3 Eve songs. Okay? You can reach back and be like, oh, this was bop. Okay? You can reach back and get a Foxy Brown song. We actually gravitated towards the other women. We gravitated towards the Queen Latifahs. We gravitated towards the MC Lights. Like, we supported them women too. Even Sister Soldier that was in with, if I'm not mistaken, she was rolling with Public Enemy, I believe, at that time. We supported her. We supported Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill's, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is an award-winning album. It's a hip-hop classic. We supported that. The women supported it. Okay? We even if you move towards like the 2000s stuff, we supported Missy Elliott. Missy wasn't nowhere naked. But we supported the mess out of her. We supported the Lady of Rage. We supported Bahamadia. We supported them women. And all them women was not somewhere twerking. So that was not the totality of female rap, is my point. The raunchy, super over-sexualized female rapper was not the totality of the image of female rappers. So there was a balance. If you didn't want to listen to them, you didn't have to. Right? Trina and all of them, that was like niche rap. You had to, you know what I'm saying? Like, your mom didn't want you listening to that. You had, if you was too young, you kind of had to sneak and listen to that at school with the kids, and you know what I'm saying? That's how you heard that. It was certain rap songs that they would not play until nighttime. Right? It was certain rap videos that you couldn't get unless you paid your little 99 cents for the box. It wasn't on prime time. It was no, some of that stuff was not playing on prime time. Yo and TV.
But you got a good point with that one.
Oh yeah, there was a balance. Everything was balanced.
Now watch this one, y'all. Here we go.
Before earning my certification, I was at a crossroads in my professional life, and I wanted to truly impact people's lives. The guidance and support
to learn. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So, I feel like this clip, lady, seems familiar to me for whatever reason. I could be wrong, but we're going to react to it since it's going viral. What to play, and then without any further ado, here we go.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating Black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another Black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together. And then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us. But then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect. Aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate.
So here we have a lady who saying all of this with a kid in the back, which looks like there's a child in a car seat in the back. So a single mom.
Damn.
Ranting about the types of men that she has been running into and dating. Men who are waiting on you to do something for them. And in the moment that they don't need you anymore, they basically chuck the deuces and they're gone. And things of that nature. Basically, bums, guys that are using, they don't have any money. And also they're not going to commit. They got commitment issues. You know, they are not interested in these serious relationships, especially with the woman that they used as a come up. Now, are there men like this? Yes. Those are the hyena males. These are hyenas. What she's describing is a whole hyena, like, because I don't know a lion that moves like that, even if he's down bad at a certain point in his life. But she's describing these men, and then she says it's emotional labor. Ma'am, let me clarify something. You want to be in control of these situationships that you are in. Her and the women that think like her and the women that move like her. You get men that need you in some capacity, or they need something. Maybe he needs a place to stay. Maybe you know, he needs support for some reason to get up on his feet, whatever the case may be. A lot of times, you know that this is what he's doing. However, you have more money. You may have the things that he needs or what have you. Materially, you have more than him. So you're willing to get into a situation with him because you feel as though you have the leverage and the power in the situation to pull the rug out from under, put the plug on it when you see fit. Now, here's the problem with that. You can't have a power play and then be sucked into the delusion that you buy into. And here's what I mean. If you're getting into a situation with a guy where you realize that you're in a position where he needs you for something, and so you agree to get into a situationship with him just to get something out of him, it's transactional. It's like super transactional. You're getting something out of him. You're getting the male attention. You're getting sex and all of this sort of thing. Something you like out of him, while you know that he's only there to get some stuff that he wants. Now, if you're gonna he spit at you is likely a lie of some sort. So you can't get suckered into it. Like, you just gotta play the game because you're choosing to play the game. Like, you're playing the game because you're playing. The only way to not suck at this game is to not play it, but you all join in. You all participate in this gameplay. So he's going to tell you all the stuff that he thinks you want to hear and blah, 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 blah. And so you guys somehow get emotionally invested in a situation where you claim to know that he's playing and that you have the upper hand. So how
So basically, a young lady says she's tired of dating brothers, and she think the grass green on the other side. That's really what's going on here, unfortunately. But it is what it is, right?
You know what's crazy about that? I didn't know white people. I didn't know white dudes can be deadbeats. I didn't know white people. White dudes can be broke. You know, I didn't know that the same stereotypes.
If you're a web,
for them, you know. I didn't know that.
Well, hey, let me play my last video at night. Just playing something for you.
Electronic eavesdropping bases have been captured from space and are believed to be linked to China. The report highlights 4 recently upgraded electronic spying facilities in Cuba, including 3 near the country's capital of Havana. These facilities are located in the distant vicinity of at least 7 American military bases in the southeastern seaboard, including the USS Naval Base at Guantanamo Bay. Matthew Faniole joins me now. He's a senior fellow for the Center for Strategic and International Studies, China Power Project, and is the co-author of the report. Matthew, thank you very much for joining us. What do we know about these spy facilities and how involved is China?
Yeah, it's a great question, and thanks for having me on. What we know from looking at quite a few years of satellite imagery is that these 4 sites have changed pretty dramatically over the last couple of years. That includes the expansion of the facilities, instrumentation being moved around, and then lastly, we're actually able to identify a brand new site that hasn't actually been reported yet. And what we're seeing there is a different configuration than at the other locations that may speak a little bit to its mission set. But overall, what we see is that there's a lot of change going on. There's expansion going on, and these are highly secretive and highly guarded facilities, which speaks to what they might be up to.
And do we think that Cuba wouldn't have capacity on its own to stand up this kind of surveillance, and therefore it's got to be backed by China or somebody else? And well, backed by China, and could it be anybody other than China?
I think China's the prime target here, is the prime suspect here for a couple of reasons. We know from administration officials statements last year that China is growing its intelligence footprint in Cuba, is looking to expand that. And Cuba's in the midst of a pretty harsh financial crisis, economic crisis right now. So when you think of expanding and growing facilities, they're likely looking to an external partner to help them with that. And China's the likely fit.
The CBS News sat down with Cuba's foreign minister back in April, and he rejected the claims that China's operating any spy bases in Cuba. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Cuba's a relatively small country, and there were 100 diplomatic missions in Cuba. None of them have ever seen, including a U.S. embassy, a spy station or any similar to that, or a Chinese squad or platoon or anything of the sort.
Well, he's denying things that doesn't seem to cover what you found. Is that the way it reads to you?
Well, I think there's a few things to kind of pick up on in there. I mean, one is that Cuba doesn't have much interest in revealing what it may or may not be doing at these facilities, especially if they have been set up, at least in part, to spy on the United States. The second is, and this is a really important aspect here, is that these sites, the value that they provide really comes from both the data that's collected, but then also the ways in which that data is interpreted to derive meaning. So even if they were fully operated by Cuban authorities, that information and that data could still be shared with counterparts like China. Every country in the world spies on each other. It's a pretty well-known fact, and it makes a lot of sense for China to have an interest in trying to use Cuba's proximity to the United States to gain valuable intelligence insights into the U.S. military and other aspects of how operations occur, both within and in the general proximity of the United States.
We all spy on each other and all the rest of it, but obviously China is America's greatest competitor.
Well, on one hand, the good news is that the U.S. is, does everything in its power to protect its sensitive information and sensitive communications. And so there's that side of it. What I think is really important here is not necessarily concern, but awareness. it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking that great power competition, geopolitical rivalries, that's something that happens somewhere else, right? It happens overseas, it happens in the Pacific, it happens in Europe. But importantly and increasingly, it's also happening in the backyard of the United States. China is interested in expanding its global footprint, and this is just one of the many echoes that we see of that happening. And so when we're thinking about U.S.-China rivalry, it's not just something that's happening in the Pacific, it's also something that's happening closer to home as well.
And very briefly, that brings me to the spy balloon. What do we know about that? Was that a real thing to get spun up about, or is, give us a sense of that seriousness relative to what you've discovered?
Well, I think that the instrumentation that you would see at the facilities in Cuba would offer a lot more granularity than what you would get on a spy balloon. A spy balloon is a little bit hard to control once it's up in the air and can really only kind of follow a specific type of flight path. What I think this gets into, though, is the broader context. It's not just about one facility or one asset or one particular instance. What we're looking at is an environment in which China is trying to learn more about the United States. It's trying to learn more about how the U.S. operates. It's trying to learn more about how the U.S. military operates. And all of those things combined provide us with a little bit more texture into how we should interpret U.S.-China relations going forward.
Matthew Faniole from CSIS. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's pretty much that. So another interesting day. Not even much covered, short period of time. Pay attention to some of that stuff with the sex trafficking, human trafficking. Need to know about it. Watch the clown show if you want to, or sit your ass on the sideline. Chak, you still there?
Yeah, I'm.
All right, bro. Like I said, man, it's
What you got? What you got?
everybody down in the area. Everybody down in that area. I just want to say in Texas. Not sure about California, but everybody in that area be safe. You got Hurricane Beryl that could be coming, or tropical storm, whatever now. But it was a Category 5 in some places. Things like that. So people need to be careful. It's supposed to rain here like tomorrow for like a couple of days or something. They said Virginia was 90% of Virginia was in a drought, but the river did look kind of dry this morning. But it is what it is. This afternoon. But I do want you to people be safe and watch out for the weather, because it seemed like this thing took a detour. Texas was that means it's hot or something, because ain't no thing all the way in the Caribbean came down and just shot up to Texas. But it is what it is. Yeah, Chak, go ahead and shout your information, man.
Oh yeah, man. You can tap in with your boy _ Edwards, CHAQ _ Edwards on Instagram, Chak Edwards on Facebook, and Chak Wilder on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Well, that's good. You came on. We got to do a weekly report on this radiation thing. This is really fucking people up. Yeah, Frank, what's up?
Yeah, because you know what I'm still doing? I think I might start asking people. I might do an experiment and see. Ask people I'm gonna try to experiment. I'm gonna try to ask people, just ring people.
All right. Well, yeah, Frank, shout out your information, man.
Yeah, all right, so good video, man. You know what I'm saying, of one of the topics today. You know what I mean? Just stay vigilant, stay watchful, man. Stuff is gonna get worse before it get better, man. You know. And now y'all can hit me up at XX Frank Nitty XX on YouTube and also on Instagram, and then Frank Jones 8115. So holla at me.
And I'm gonna come back on later in the week. It's some more shootings I gotta cover. They say, I think one of them, they say a 69-year-old woman got shot or something too. So I'm like, all these mass shootings just happened in the last couple of days. So they say, okay, well, now this was a shooting, this was a robbery, but it is what it is. I mean, hey man, just showing you we're in a clown world. But y'all take y'all time. Have a good night. But don't come on today. I don't come on back tonight. Try to get back on Tuesday. But tomorrow they're gonna run psyops and news tomorrow. So if probably something new I'm gonna have to cover anyway. But I had to get some of this stuff out there because people still don't know. And to the young sister that didn't get shook by Biden hand, just don't go to the rally no more. But take your time.
All right. So peace, man.
All right.
I am highlight, man.